Today is a very warm summer evening, so I thought what better than to talk about a movie that came out almost 80 years ago. And that is why in my hand I have a classic film noir, D.O.A. I found out about this movie after finding it at a local store that I regularly shop at. At the time I was trying to expand my VHS collection and this seemed perfect as an addition. Unknowing of its plot, I simply threw it on my shelf assuming that it was just a film noir. I was wrong. D.O.A. is exactly what I think a film noir should be, and in the next few minutes I will explain to you exactly why I think that is so. The story starts off in a very classical sort of sense. A man named Frank Bigelow is an accountant in California. He has a secretary and girlfriend because... Hi, this is me in editing. I forgot to mention that his secretary and his girlfriend are the same person, and that's... And Frank is planning a trip to San Francisco for a business conference. Leaving his girlfriend behind, he books a hotel in possibly the most lively hotel in the entire world. Parties are happening all next door, people are drinking, smoking, dancing. He gets to know some of his short-time neighbors, and soon enough he finds himself in the Fisherman Bar. After flirting with another woman that is not his girlfriend, he is poisoned with a luminous toxin by a mysterious man who replaces his drink. The next day, he visits a doctor's office after not feeling well, and he exposes the luminous toxin to Frank. Frank is given a day to live. After running out of many doctor's offices, he makes his way back to the Fisherman Bar to find out who poisoned him. With the door being locked, he runs out of luck. That day, he gets a call from his secretary saying that a man tried to reach him many times during the day. She explains that soon after the calls were made, the man passed away. Frank decides to visit the home of the man and finds out that he had committed suicide. He talked with the wife of the man and his brother to find out what exactly happened and why he did this. Soon after the visit to the house, he went to the office of Mr. Phillips. There he finds one of Mr. Phillips' workers, Mr. Halliday. Mr. Phillips had actually been accused for stealing a rare metal. Turns out this was a false accusation, and the metal was actually stolen by a man named Mr. Reynolds. Mr. Reynolds had actually stolen the metal 6 months prior to the alleged allegation of Mr. Phillips. Reynolds had intended to give the metal to a gangster named Majak. Soon after, Phillips committed suicide, and Reynolds had destroyed the bill of sale. And that certain bill of sale was authorized by Frank Bigelow. After a long day of investigation, Bigelow came back to his hotel room to find a group of gangsters waiting for him, one of which being a henchman of Majak named Chester. Chester makes me extremely uncomfortable. I just thought I should mention that. The goons take him back to Majak's house. There, Majak explained that Raymond Rakubi was the real name for Mr. Reynolds, and that he had been dead for 5 months. After finding this out, Chester takes him away in his car, but Bigelow escapes and Chester gets shot by a nearby policeman. After this, Frank goes to the home of Mr. and Mrs. Phillips and confronts Mrs. Phillips. She then explains that the purchasing of the rare metal was actually a cover-up for the murder of Mr. Phillips. Halliday and Mrs. Phillips had been having an affair for a short period of time. After finding out, Halliday pushed him off the balcony to his death, and made a deal with Majak to buy the illegal metal as a cover-up for his murder. And the reason Bigelow was poisoned is because he was aware of the bill of sale, which would also have them imprisoned. Shortly after her confessing, Majak and his goons show up to her apartment, in search of Mr. Bigelow. Bigelow makes an escape and then goes to the office of Mr. Halliday. As Mr. Halliday is walking out, Bigelow shoots him dead. Bigelow then reports to a local police station to state that he had been murdered, dying shortly after in the office of the police chief. If you thought that was confusing, I highly recommend you do watch this movie for yourself. It's free in black and white and in color on multiple channels on YouTube. Also, I'm just reading now that apparently it's a stage play too? Anyway, that about sums up the video. If you enjoyed, give it a like and subscribe, and if you want more like this, let me know. And anyway, I will see ya. That was terrible.